Hello friends, in this video we are going to discover the top 10 most livable cities in the world. Many people dream of packing up their belongings and starting a new life abroad, even if it's just for a little while. With technology making remote work much easier and globalization expanding the reach of companies, it is easier than ever to fulfill this dream. But not all cities are created equal when it comes to offering the best quality of life. So while you're fantasizing about international adventures and cultural immersion, just remember to consider everything in a city from its culture to its healthcare and education systems. Plus, the best places to live in the world are also pleasant to visit. Which of these livable cities inspires you the most? Considering a big move this year? You may want to think about Canada or Western Europe. The annual ranking of the world's most livable cities has just been released by the Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU, and Global Livability Index shows some marked differences from the previous year. Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 10 most livable cities in the world. Now let's dig deeper into each of the top 10 most livable cities in the world. Number 10 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Melbourne, Australia. If you go by the AU's rating, the city earned 100 points for education and infrastructure, and a near-perfect score for culture and environment. Healthcare, however, could be improved. Although at first glance you could confuse the Victorian capital with other big, modern cities, once you allow yourself to explore its folds and corners you discover that it has a spirit of its own. Yes, it has the expected cafe, culinary and brewery offerings, and it's where all the alternative folks in Australia seem to gather, but what sets Melbourne apart is its humble attitude. This is the city that knows it's amazing but doesn't hang it over anyone's head. It's secure and confident in a way that is not off-putting, but rather attractive and welcoming. Number 9 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Amsterdam, Netherlands. Though Amsterdam is suffering from the pressures of over-tourism, people can't seem to keep themselves from visiting, or living in, it. This is because it is a city like no other. Sure, the architecture might be found in other cities in the Netherlands, and it's not the only place in the world crisscrossed by the scenery of canals, but there is something in its laid-back attitude that is simply irresistible. Add to this its cafe culture, expansive bike paths and artistic legacy, and you'll quickly see what the fuss is all about. Number 8 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Toronto, Canada. As the biggest city and financial center of Canada, Toronto is an amazing place to live. Sure, the metro isn't as extensive as that of other cities of its size, but it's good enough to land it amongst the best public transit systems in the world. The city offers all the food you could ever want, varying from authentic gochujang jjigae in Koreatown to imaginative fusion restaurants. There are also many green spaces spread throughout the city, which makes for a pleasant stroll from spring to fall. Number 7 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Frankfurt, Germany. After World War II, Frankfurt went in a different direction from other German cities and decided not to rebuild its destroyed historic center. This decision has been recently reversed, with great works being undertaken to restore part of the city to its pre-war glory. However, in the time in between, the unusual move allowed Frankfurt to develop a personality of its own that sets it apart from other European cities. You'll still find the beautiful squares and traditional houses turned into taverns, but you'll also see numerous skyscrapers, a large number of expats and a pulsing nightlife. Number 6 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Geneva, Switzerland. Though Geneva is not, as many believe, the capital of Switzerland, it is a city of worldwide importance. As the headquarters of the World Health Organization, the Red Cross and the World Trade Organization, Geneva is a confluence of nationalities and cultures. It is also home to the European branch of the United Nations, meaning that diplomacy is basically a way of life here. This makes it easier for expats to adapt and find support systems and for travelers to traverse through the city. This perfectly planned city offers all the luxuries you could want and an interesting culinary mix. Number 5 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver is the perfect blend of modern urbanity and breathtaking nature, juxtaposing its clubs and office buildings with nearby mountains and an extensive coastline. Museums like the Vancouver Art Gallery and the Museum of Anthropology bring up the city's cultural points. Need more convincing? Fresh seafood abounds, and diversity fosters a spirit of openness and acceptance. Number 4 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Calgary, Canada. Calgary is a small city heart hidden within a big city body. High-rises and modern bridges line the banks of the Bow River, and trendy bars and restaurants establish it as a cosmopolis. But despite its shiny exterior, Calgary will always be a cowboy town deep inside. Its annual rodeo, the Calgary Stampede, is still one of the city's most popular events, and any outsider who laughs about this can prepare to be met with the extremely rare Canadian hostility. The city is also super close to the Canadian Rocky Mountains and is the gateway to the astonishing Banff National Park, the first reserve of its kind in Canada. Number 3 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Zurich, Switzerland. Zurich is so perfectly manicured and clean that it can innately feel like a carefully planned amusement park rather than a real, living city. It only takes a few minutes there, however, to feel the thriving pulse of its soul. Visitors and locals love strolling around Old Town, watching flocks of swans floating on the Limmat River and hanging out in the trendy spots the large student population basically guarantees. The city is also extremely safe while managing to keep a relaxed vibe. Number 2 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Copenhagen, Denmark. The AU gives Copenhagen a perfect score in stability, education and infrastructure. The city is famous for its picturesque Nyhavn, with colorful houses and docked boats lining the canal. Castles and palaces abound, as do high-quality eateries. There are more than a dozen Michelin-starred restaurants. Besides this, Copenhagen receives worldwide praise for its commitment to sustainability, which is most visible in the large number of people who move around the city by bike. Number 1 on the list of most livable cities in the world is Vienna, Austria. The gorgeous city of Vienna came out on top of both lists as the most livable city in the world. No one who's ever visited can actually dispute this ranking, as Vienna has great infrastructure, incredible cultural offerings, a rich history and beauty in every corner. What's more, there are large green spaces throughout the city, and locals most definitely take advantage of them whenever the sun comes out. Both travelers and residents can enjoy the vestiges of the powerful Habsburg monarchy, coffee with Schokotorte and the unrivaled musical legacy of the Vienna State Opera. So, which is your favorite cities among the top 10 most livable cities in the world? Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your favorite cities among the top 10 most livable cities in the world in the comments below. I'd love to read them and I'm sure others would too.